Well, I think you've got to say it's a fair result because I think Chelsea were the better team, had more opportunities. Second half, Liverpool had one or two. So Szoboszlai hit the post, but I don't think they created enough. I think both teams would have performed better in the second half. Liverpool limited Chelsea's chances, whereas the first half, particularly in between the right back and Konate, they had a few opportunities down there. So, but they were toothless. You know, as I said, without Isak's not fit, without Ekitike, without Salah, you know, so they're nice and neat. You know, Curtis Jones, they're neat in midfield, but we didn't create enough to have won the game.
Yeah, 8 shots is the fewest at home for Liverpool in nearly 5 years. Chelsea only had 1 attempt in the second 45. The way in which they came back into the game at the end of the first half, did you expect them to kind of carry that into the second?
I think that was a positive thing in terms of the first half. Going a goal down so early on, it could have been that kind of feeling of, oh no, here we go again. So it was nice to see a reaction. Like I said, on the balance of the game, I thought it was pretty even. Both teams huffed and puffed a little bit without creating too much. We had Enzo's opportunity, which we showed at half-time, which pulled off a good save, but in terms of clear-cut chances, not too many.
Why don't we recap the goals? Because one of them came just in the opening 6 minutes of the game. It came for Liverpool, Rio Ngamoa creating here, Ryan Gravenberch finishing.
Well, once again, he had a free kick, and Szoboszlai hits a great free kick normally, but of course Chelsea pushed forward. I said, take it again, they pushed in. Fortunately, they didn't. Chelsea are in a good defensive position, but he just takes too long to come out. Andre Santos takes too long, because you can see here they've got lots of men behind the ball. They're holding a good line. And as Gary's favourite word, scanning, you can see that he's scanning a lot. But from that position, Andre Santos has to come 5 yards further forward, then he could have got closer to the shot. Because as you can see, he's seen 4 or 5 times, he's seen the space. When it gets to him, he's just a bit slow coming out. And it's a great strike, but I think the keeper will be disappointed because it wasn't right in the top corner.
Yeah, I think so. We spoke about him scanning, and obviously having, you say to young players, have a picture in your head. He certainly had that, and his first touch set him up perfectly to have the shot, which, like we said, I feel like he was visualising that moment. But from a defensive point of view, of course, as soon as that touch comes out of his feet, the next thought in his mind is to shoot. You've got to try and close that gap as quickly as possible. And yeah, the keeper will be slightly disappointed, I think, with that. But take nothing away from the finish. I thought it was a superb finish.
Another early goal conceded by Chelsea. That's 9 in the opening 10 minutes. The top in their Premier League history, an unwanted record. We spoke plenty in the build-up, Gary, about this Chelsea defence, and they found themselves 1 goal down already before the game really even gets going.
Yeah, and that's been the case, hasn't it? We spoke about kind of how easy they are to play against, and to conceding goals has been an issue for them of late. But you look at that stat and it makes me think, just, you know, be switched on in the start of the game. I always used to say about myself when I played, make the first pass, be in the right position, play your way into the game. It's almost like stay in the game. With the first 5 minutes to concede, it's an uphill task from then on. So it's a disappointing start, and it's something that Chelsea really need to work on now. Be harder, be more resilient to play against, and not concede sloppy goals.
Well, let's look at the goal and stay with you, Gary, because they did find, you know, their way back into the game. They kind of clawed their way back, and then this finish from Enzo Fernandez is quite superb from the free kick.
It was superb, and Fofana plays his part massively, because like I said, I think if he hadn't, he comes across there, he's out of the eye-line. Gravenberch doesn't see him coming, and the little nudge there creates that little bit of space. So Fofana's impact in the goal was huge. The delivery is a nice delivery. Of course, he's trying to put it in that danger zone. The goalkeeper can't react until now, which is too late.
Okay, somebody gets it.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
But the interesting thing about that, he said it's a good delivery. If Fofana doesn't come and ease Gravenberch out of the way, Gravenberch just clears that, and then you can say it's a terrible free kick, or you got to clear the first man. So as much as, yes, it's gone in, for me, that is not a good free kick, because if Gravenberch is alive, that doesn't even go past him, and then you're going to go, everyone will say you've got to get it over the first man. So yes, it worked out for them. And once again, Fofana's come and he just pushed him out of the way. I mean, no one's looking for a free kick, but Fofana has just eased him out of the way for that to happen. But this is what people do in set pieces these days. We see Arsenal do it a lot.
You talked a lot about set pieces and their prominence. Liverpool, unfortunately, conceding set piece goals at an alarming rate, 18. Only Bournemouth have conceded more in the Premier League so far this season. I know you're saying it wasn't really a good free kick, but he's going to say he meant that all the way.
Well, interestingly, normally it's the in-swinger that if no one touches it goes in. That's an out-swinger. Yeah. And he never meant that. That's a cross coming in. And, of course, he's tried to swing at it. Other people should get at the end of it. So I'm not having it if he says he meant that.
When you look at it, concerns about Liverpool's defending at set pieces, obviously, and yet again found out here. John?
Yes, but I think that generally speaking, set pieces, a lot of clubs are now concentrating on set pieces. Liverpool are a big side, they've got Van Dijk, Konate, but it's just, listen, when he lucks out, and that was a fortunate one. But you can't say Chelsea didn't deserve it because they were the better team in the first half. They had clearer opportunities than that to have scored, which obviously they didn't. So, yeah, I suppose it evens itself out.
Very honest from Fofana there. Would you have tried to claim it?
Yeah. No, he said, I think his first worry is probably that he was offside, maybe. He wasn't. But clearly you see on this image, I think, right, here we go now. It's clear he doesn't.
Put it this way, if you were a striker, you'd claim that. But defenders are more honest.
I feel like Gary would have tried because he didn't score too many goals. He said yes, he would have tried to claim it.
Yeah, but they haven't got that way about them. Strikers can lie very easily, but he would be very guilty in trying to claim it. We'll see through him.
It's hard to prove when you see it like that, though, so he's got no leg to stand on there. But like I said, he's played a huge part in it.
You're not lying right now, are you?
About?
You just said,
well, you can never tell with the strikers, can you?
Let's look at the opportunities for Liverpool because they were denied twice by the woodwork in the second 45. This is the moment where John Szoboszlai hits the post.
Well, of course, anytime he's anywhere within 40 yards from goal, he's going to shoot. And here you can see it's a fantastic strike. The goalkeeper doesn't want to be beaten at the near post, so you can say, if he was beaten, and I think he had it covered, if you see, but, Dominic Szoboszlai, anywhere around from 30 yards, and he's going to look to shoot. So, yeah, he was unfortunate there. And this one, of course, Virgil van Dijk, he's asking for a penalty. In many respects, had he not had the header and not hit the post, then he could have said, but, yes, he's wrestling.
It's risky, though, John, isn't it?
It's risky. And I suppose had he even just fallen down without even heading it, then he would have had, I don't think he should have had a better claim because you can see Caicedo's got his arms all around him. But I think for the fact that he had a clear head and he headed it, then he's asking for the penalty is probably what rescued it.
So Liverpool calling for a penalty there, they were not given one. And then at the other end, Chelsea thought they should have had a penalty. Let's look at this and get your thoughts on whether this should have been given.
So I've seen this a couple of times now. I don't think there's enough in it for me, and that's even with my Chelsea hat on. I think when the ball goes through here now, you'll see it better on a different angle. But I feel like Frimpong was in position, and João Pedro's almost got his leg. You'll see it on this angle, and I'll explain it better now. There, he puts his leg across him. So Frimpong's got his body in position, and I think it's João Pedro that makes the movement across, and they just get a tangle of legs. So for me, held his position, I don't think there's enough in that for a penalty. Yeah,
I think if you look at the body position, he has got the pole position in line with the ball, and João Pedro tries to put his leg across. So for me, it wasn't a penalty.
What would you have liked to see in the second half from Liverpool?
I'd like to see more composure. I'd like them to create more, I won't say necessarily clear-cut opportunities in terms of in front of goal, but be more progressive in getting into wide areas or getting in and around the box where they're going to have more shots like Dominic Szoboszlai. But as I said, when you're missing your three main strikers, you're really relying on people playing out of position, to really do that. So for me, they never looked as if they were going to create those kind of opportunities that we normally see from them because of the front three are missing. So I suppose you can say they're happy with the point. Both, well, maybe not Chelsea, but I think that, the way it went at the start, Chelsea have to be happy.
Well, we can find out more about Chelsea and their thoughts on that draw at Anfield. Let's go back there and get post-match reaction. Here is Levi Colwell.
Levi, can you be happy with the point?
It's a tough one to take, I think. I think we played some really good football out there. Close offside goal, I think a definite pen. So we're disappointed because, we're Chelsea and we expect to, no matter where we go, to get 3 points. But with the recent run of form, coming to Anfield's always a tough place, and, leaving with a point in the worst thing in the world.
I suppose breaking that run of defeats and even looking at the relationship between the fans and the players at the end here as well, that's progress, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I think, the fans always know that we give 100% for them, and I think today, they really see it. We dug in deep. And like you said, our form ain't been great, but no matter where we go, we're going to give 100% for the fans, for the club, for ourselves, and try and win, which we done today.
How did it feel to be back out there starting a Premier League match again? It's been a long time, right?
Yeah, 100%. Before the game, there was no nerves. I was just happy to be back out there, I said to myself before the game, no matter what happens, how I play, just be blessed that you're back on the pitch and enjoy it.
And lasting 90 minutes as well is great ahead of the cup final. It's a good little reminder to the manager that you're available now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's down to the staff that I've been working with during my rehab. They put a perfect plan in place and built me up really well. So now I'm able to play 90 minutes and build on from there. I think it's all down to them.
Good to see you back. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Ian just telling him there, good to see you back. Let's get your thoughts on Levi Colwill being back and starting today.
Well, it's fantastic to see him back, first and foremost. I mean, as a player, I never had an injury that I was out for that length of time. And at a young age, is that, you know, mentally, that's tough. So to do the hard work and to get back and get the rewards in terms of back on a pitch and starting, you know, before he got injured, he was one of the main centre-backs, one of the main defenders in that Chelsea team, even at the young age that he is. And he was going from strength to strength. So delighted to see him back. And I thought he played, I thought he was solid today as well. So all in all, great to see him back for not just club, but country as well.
He did say this was a tough one to take for Chelsea, and that was definitely a penalty.
No,